Hello Gemini, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self and ultimately create the life that you deserve and desire. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have a tarot deck that I'll be pulling from, as well as a clarification deck and an advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading within the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Gemini, let's jump in. Starting with your recent past, you have the end of a tough cycle approaches with the Seven of Swords here. I feel like you've obviously been going through a tough cycle, and with the Seven of Swords, it feels like you've been having a hard time seeing a way out of this cycle. I feel like this has felt very never-ending. Now, this is past energy, but I feel like you're still kind of dealing with it in your future energy. I feel like that's kind of how these readings kind of tend to go, is it's like, yeah, this is past energy, but this is how it's affecting your current energy, and then here's how to, shift it moving forward. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's a deeper purpose for this cycle that we'll definitely see when we dive into tarot. Maybe. I feel like there's a deeper purpose, though. Because in your current energy, you have prosperity lies ahead with the Nine of Wands in reverse. So the prosperity that you desire, maybe it's abundance, in the form of wealth, maybe it's a relationship or peace, or, whatever the case might be. Especially if you've been kind of struggling, you might just be like, I just don't want to struggle anymore. But with the Nine of Wands in reverse, it feels as if you're being held back from that prosperity for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet, but it feels as if the universe is intentionally kind of holding you back, or as if kind of withholding from you the prosperity that you desire, but for like a positive reason. We'll see though. In your immediate future, you are good enough with the Four of Pentacles. And there's like, that Four of Pentacles to me is this energy of inner and outer stability. So that's where kind of, I feel like you can find peace, obviously stability, and just like a general sense of relief, I feel like is ultimately what this future energy holds. Now, the overall theme for the reading is protection. And so it's interesting how the way that I'm reading this is you are currently being protected through divine timing, meaning that you're being held back from the prosperity that you desire to protect you from something. I don't know yet. This is just overall energy. So you're being divinely protected. Divine timing is at play, but let's see what's going on here, because that's very interesting overall energy. All right, Gemini, let's start with your recent past. The end of a tough cycle approaches with the Seven of Swords. What was Gemini dealing with in their recent past? Ooh. Magician and the Star and the Emperor right out of the gate, but then the Nine of Swords is the underlying, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, interesting. Okay, you've been showing up for your life in the best way that you know how. There's no doubt about that. But it doesn't really feel like it's mattered all that much. Now, it has mattered, but to you, it doesn't feel like it's mattered. Because with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like no matter how much energy you show up with, especially with this Emperor energy, like no matter how much you try, it just feels like you don't receive. It feels like, especially with the Nine of Swords, it starts to feel like you're never going to get to where it is that you desire. So this is definitely, like with the Magician here, this is something you're trying to manifest, something that you're trying to create. And you're showing up in the best way that you know how, but it always seems to fall through, or things never seem to amount to anything. It's like, but then you have this energy of being held back. So that's super interesting. But it's all intentional. It's divinely guided in some way. I hope we can make sense of this for you. All right. What has a Gemini been dealing with in the recent past? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Progress that is so slow. Forward movement because there's the Four of Pentacles. So this feels like stability. It could very much be financial stability, or just stability in your life, like getting to a point where you're like, yes, I'm stable. It's progress that is moving so slow that it feels as if it's not moving at all. But then you have this Judgment in reverse, which is an energy of needing to see the truth behind the circumstance. So there's a reason as to why this is happening, because this is obviously about some form of stability. Now, when I think stability, it could be like, wanting to create a family, or wanting to, it's whatever it means to you, whatever stability means to you. I feel like I don't need to explain it, because I feel like you probably already know. But it just feels like you don't see a way there. You don't see how things can ever amount to this stability. But yet, whether or not you're aware of it, which I don't feel you're aware of it, things are actually moving toward it. It just doesn't feel like it, especially have been moving toward, like the energy you've been putting in has been paying off. It's just not paying off in the way or in the amount of time that you wish it would. But there's a reason for that. I keep saying that because I feel like it's important that you know that. All right. Recent past for Gemini. What does Gemini need to know about their recent past? Ooh, Three of Wands in reverse. Trying to manifest from your comfort zone. Showing up in the best way you know how, yet trying to stay within your comfort zone. Can I get more on this Three of Wands in reverse? What does that mean? I want more. Like, what does that mean? It's vague. It's a vague message. Three of Wands in reverse. Aha! So, ooh, wait. Three of Pentacles. The Empress in reverse is this energy of not taking care of or prioritizing yourself. So in pursuit of what it is that you desire, you've been sacrificing your own needs and like self-worth in a way, which is your comfort zone. So, okay, one of the ways that this could manifest would be like you're trying to create a certain level of financial stability in your life. Yet, and this doesn't have to be about finances at all. This is just an example of the energy I'm trying to portray. So you're trying to create, financial stability in your life. But in doing that, you're working a job that you absolutely hate, that doesn't treat you with respect or value what it is you bring to the table. You're burnt out, you're exhausted, you're miserable, and you're doing all of that hoping that it creates the financial stability. And the universe is not bringing you the financial stability because you're going about it the wrong way, because if the universe brought you what it is that you desired while you were coming from that place of like self-sacrifice, then you would affirm a belief that self-sacrifice is required for financial stability. The same thing could go for like your relationships. Trying to create the relationship that you deserve and desire while sacrificing your needs and your self-worth in the process. So allowing someone to treat you poorly, hoping that things change. Things are never going to change because the universe isn't going to bring you what you desire when you're coming from that energy. So you have more control over this than you think, but you need to be aware of how your actions have impacted results here, because I'm not saying it's your fault. Like, try to separate responsibility and blame, because blaming someone is saying, this is your fault, and blame is a very black or white thing to do. Responsibility is saying, what role did I play in this? Which is the only thing you have control over, is your role in things, the energy that you show up with, and the beliefs behind that energy. And so there's this energy of not listening to your intuition, not listening to your higher self guidance, because your comfort zone is kind of the self-sacrifice, or the not so, because you were showing up maybe for everything around you, everyone around you, for your job, your kids, your significant other, showing up, but not for yourself. There wasn't this energy of showing up for yourself here. So let's see how that's impacting your current energy, because I do feel like you're still stuck in a cycle, but with the Nine of Wands in reverse, it's like a cycle that's getting close to the end, which makes sense because you have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So let's see. What does Gemini need to know about their current energy? The pieces aren't coming together. The pieces don't feel like they're falling into place. But I'm not going to lie to you, there's self-sabotage at play. So how are you self-sabotaging? Or self-sabotage at play. Pieces aren't falling into place, yet there's self-sabotage at play. How is Gemini, which is keeping you stuck in this cycle? This self-sabotage is keeping you stuck. Okay, so how is Gemini self-sabotaging? Okay, that's not telling me. That's kind of just the definition of self-sabotage. You don't feel good enough. I mean, with the Strength in reverse, there's this energy of not feeling good enough for what it is that you desire. So it's almost like you sabotage it before it even has a chance, or you push it away, or you don't pursue an opportunity. It's that classic kind of people who are afraid of failure, which I firmly believe that every person has a fear of failure. People are just, different people are more equipped to handling it than others. But, when someone's afraid of failure, they won't even take the first step if they allow that fear of failure to dictate their movements, choices, and decisions. So that kind of feels like what's happening here. There's self-sabotage, sabotaging what it is that you desire because you don't believe you're good enough for it. Now, that could mean something to everybody. Self-sabotage has so many different forms of appearing. It could be pushing away people that are good for you, chasing people that are bad for you. It could be toxic habits. It could be addictions. It could be lack of priorities. It could literally be so many different things. So that's, I feel like, where you're going to have to do some reflection on what it means for you. But now I want you to keep in mind that this is coming from a place of you not believing that you deserve to have your needs met. So that you deserve to be loved, or to be stable, or to be abundant, whatever this is talking about, which is why, oh my gosh, which is why in your immediate future, you literally have, you are good enough. So here's why you're being held back from it. If you woke up tomorrow, I did a video on this a while back, and the concept of the video was that 75%, 70 or 75% of people who win the lottery go completely broke within a couple of years. Like, even people who were in an okay situation who won the lottery would actually end up in a worse financial situation in a few years. And the reason behind this was sabotaging it away. And then there are different reasons for it. But if the universe showed up tomorrow on your doorstep with everything you've ever desired, but you didn't believe that you were good enough for it, and you didn't believe that you were capable, and you hadn't learned those things on the journey of getting there, you would sabotage it away like that. So the universe isn't going to bring you what it is that you're looking for until you fully know that you're deserving and capable of receiving that, which then, you're acting in that capacity, which is then ultimately going to create it. And so it's interesting because you're frustrated that you're not where you want to be, yet there's self-sabotage in between where you are now and where you want to be. It's almost like you're holding yourself back in a way, Gemini. I don't think you want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that, right? But it's almost like, and sometimes we do it unconsciously. We don't even realize that we're sabotaging our opportunities for a better life or a better situation, because we're so used to, remember, 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way we interact with our reality is conscious decision making. So if 95% of you is acting from a place of not feeling deserving or capable or worthy of whatever it is that you desire, you might not even realize that those beliefs are manifesting in your current reality. So there is self-sabotage here that's keeping you in places in a life that you're ultimately not happy with, but specifically in situations that don't align with your value and your worth. So the universe isn't going to allow you to have what it is that you desire when you're in situations that don't align with what it is you deserve. I'm going to repeat that because I feel like it really needs to hit home. The universe is not going to bring you what it is that you desire when you're investing in situations that don't align with what you deserve. Okay. It was a lengthy message, but I feel like a very important one, because your path is protected. That's why the universe isn't going to bring you what it is that you deserve until you know that you're good enough for it, so you don't sabotage it away. That's why what is meant for you is never past you, because the universe only brings us what is meant for us when we're at a place where we can sustain it. Current energy here for Gemini. What does Gemini need to know about their current energy? Because you still have prosperity lies ahead. So what you desire is still possible. It still exists. The opportunity still exists. Avoiding ending a cycle. There's something you're avoiding. What are you avoiding? Something that you're not wanting to do, or, yeah, because there's the 9 of Wands in reverse. That's how you're holding yourself back. Okay, clarifying this Tower in reverse. What are you avoiding, Gemini? Maybe it's walking away from something. Maybe it's starting something. What is Gemini avoiding that's actually keeping you stuck in this cycle? Okay. Whoa. Focus is on the wrong things. Okay. So something came to mind when I was shuffling there. In 2021, my life fell apart. And from 2021 to like 2023, I had the worst time. It was like the worst time of my whole life. I was not having a good time at all. And it was like more mid to end of 2022. But during that period, I fell into an experience of just feeling really sorry for myself. A lot of what happened was very much out of my control, and I don't know, I spent a lot of time feeling very sorry for myself and being very angry at the universe. And I fell into old habits and I fell back into old relationship patterns. And I fell like just into a place where I knew I wasn't going to be happy, but it seemed like no matter how much I tried to do better, it didn't really matter. Anyway, long story short, I spent a long time waiting for my life to change. I was waiting for things to get better. I was waiting for my relationships to improve. I was waiting for my financial situation to improve, and it didn't, because I was holding myself back from making it happen. My life didn't change, and this is something that I feel like I want to shout from the rooftops in my readings. Your life will not change until you decide to make the changes to change your life. And it might not come in the way that you think they will. For me, a big change that I had to make was getting sober. I'm not saying that that's for everyone, but for me, I had to cut out alcohol. I had to cut out substances because it was not supporting the path that I wanted to take. I had to make sure that I was minimizing the amount of time I spent distracting myself from my emotions in my present moment. You know, there were changes I had to make that were within my control. And when I started making those changes, my life started to evolve. And I say that because you've been stuck in kind of this dark energy that I almost feel, Gemini, you've gotten a little complacent with, which is natural. It happens, you know, when we're used to things just sucking, we kind of get comfortable in that misery, in that suckiness. And it feels like that's kind of what has happened here. So the universe wants you to have better, but it almost feels like you've gotten complacent with where you're at, even though you know you want more. And again, these messages might not be fun to hear, but I feel like it's necessary for you to hear them so that you know that you actually have more control over changing your reality than you think you do. I will never be one of those readers that is like, oh my gosh, look at all of these amazing things that exist in your future, because you have the ability to create whatever amazing things you want in your future. That is within your control, but it's not your control of what you do. It's your control of how you show up for yourself. And there's been a lot of showing up for everything and everyone else, but not for yourself. And I feel like that's ultimately what's lacking here. This is a tough love reading from Spirit for sure. But there's something you're avoiding, a decision that you need to make, a change that you need to make, and you know it, but you're avoiding making it. Now, you'll make it when you're ready, so don't think that this is the universe saying it's now or never, because that's not how it works. You'll always have the opportunity to do what it is that you want to do and be who you want to be, but I do very much feel as if there's more in your control than you think that there is right now. What else does Gemini need to know about their current energy? But there's something you're avoiding. Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Two of Cups in reverse. And then the Ten of Swords. Okay, with the Death, yeah. So many people, and trust me, I was included in this and still can definitely be guilty of this sometimes. So many people avoid short-term discomfort, which keeps them from long-term positive results. There's some short-term discomfort that you're avoiding here, Gemini. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's walking away from a job and facing financial fears, or walking away from a relationship, or starting a business despite how much you don't think you're good enough. I don't know. It's, you know, it's yours to interpret, but there's this energy of avoiding short-term discomfort of some sort, despite the fact that whatever it is doesn't, like, there's, I don't know, whatever it is that you desire is on the other side of this short-term discomfort. But you have to believe you're good enough to take the steps toward it. You think you're waiting on the universe. The universe has been waiting on you this whole time. Because what it is you desire is possible, but it requires short-term discomfort of some sort that you're not wanting to face, which I get it. which is why I always say, like, you'll do it when you're ready. What does Gemini need to know about their immediate future should they move forward in alignment with their higher self? You are good enough with the Four of Pentacles here. You are good enough with the Four of Pentacles. What does Gemini need to know about their immediate future should they move forward in alignment with their higher self? Whoa, that card needed to come out. So what you need to know is that, I don't know what you're avoiding, a decision, I don't know what you're avoiding, but you need to know that if you take the right path for yourself, which ultimately is the path that requires you to put yourself first and put the most faith in the universe, just know that through the fear that you have that's keeping you from making that decision, or keeping you from making the move that you know you need to make, whatever that is, which is the self-sabotage, whatever it is, you would be supported through it. You would have everything that you needed. You would have everything that, you'd have everything, you'd be good. Like, the universe is telling you, like, you'd be good. But it feels like there's a lot of fear or anxiety or doubt. I don't know. But the universe wants you to know that through the things that you would fear, like, you would be secure, you would be safe. You might not feel safe, but you would be supported. That's the protection. That's the protection right there. So it's interesting because, I started this reading with saying, like, the universe is holding you back, or you feel held back, but you're holding yourself back by avoiding something, avoiding doing something, making a decision. Something that is inevitable. I don't know. Maybe you know. All right. What does Gemini need to know regarding their immediate future? I didn't feel like that was supposed to come out. What does Gemini need to know? I didn't even see what cards there. Need to know in regard to their immediate future. You have limited beliefs about what it is you deserve. So that's why you're not getting what you want. And I already said that, right? Like, the universe isn't going to bring you what you want if you're not investing in what you deserve. If you're sacrificing your worth, your mental, your emotional, your physical well-being for the sake of something, you're not going to get what you desire. Because what you desire, it can only come from believing you're deserving of it. And if you're doing those things, then you don't believe you're deserving of what you desire. And so you need to know that you're good enough for whatever it is that you want. Not only good enough in terms of, like, inherently, like, your worth. I mean, you have the tools. You have the capabilities. You have the knowledge and the wisdom and the support. Like, you have what you need. You are good enough. You're supported. The universe has got you. But in order for you to have what it is you ultimately deserve, you've got to know you're deserving of it and act in that capacity. You're waiting for the universe to bring you what you deserve, but you're not taking steps in that direction, or you're avoiding a big step in that direction. And I get it. We all do it, and you could probably list off pages full of reasons as to why. But when we live our life coming from a place of a fear of what could go wrong, or a fear of what we could lose, or a fear, when we live our life from a place of fear, we're never going to get where we want to be. Faith in ourselves and subsequently in the universe is necessary on that path to getting what it is that we deserve. You have a choice here. Choose to live in fear and continue to, repeat old patterns, continue with the same habits, not make the changes. I don't know, something you're avoiding. Not continue to avoid this, or you take the step and you see how well things can turn out for you. I'm not blaming you. These are just things that need to be in your awareness, so that you can have what it is you ultimately desire, right? The universe wants you to have that just as much as you do. Does Gemini need to know regarding their immediate future? Should they move forward in alignment with their higher self? So it's not a question of whether or not it's possible. It is possible. You can have it. You can experience it. You can live it. It's a question of whether or not you believe it's possible. Whether or not you act in that capacity. What does Gemini need to know about their immediate future? Should they move forward in alignment with their higher self? You're being divinely guided in some way. The universe is nudging you in a direction. And that direction that you're being nudged in is the right path. It's the right direction for you. You're being nudged. But why is that showing up in future? Because I get it. It's almost like, sometimes we want to have all the answers right now. But the universe wants you to know if you take the step, the next step will appear. You're avoiding the decision because you don't see the outcome. It's like, and I've said this in readings before, but it's like driving in a car at night. You can only see as far as your headlights show in front of you, but as you keep driving, you see a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further, and the whole path is illuminated, even if you can't see how you're going to get from point A to point B. It's kind of what this is about, but you have to avoid, you got to turn the car on, put it in drive, and put your foot on the gas before the path can even light itself. If the car's off, you can't see anything. So you got to turn the car on, got to turn the lights on, and then the path will continue to be lit for you. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, because you deserve to break out of this. Okay, I'm going to hop on over to the extended where we're going to jump into these messages talking about what you need to do to ensure that you move forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I got an advice card to pull from your spiritual team at the very end. Thank you so much, as always, Gemini, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you, obviously, in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Gemini, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Gemini.